Sahanavavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
As the great ones have called this earth as karma bhumi, where one must undertake actions. Actions are inescapable, inevitable. We tend to understand that doing action is the way of the world and that is the way in and way out of the world. But that's not true. Actions are inevitable, but doership is a choice. That is how we have to look at actions. Nobody can escape actions, from the smallest ant to the biggest king, the ruler, from an illiterate person to the wisest one. All must undertake action. But at some point in time in Ashtavakra Gita, he says, even opening and closing of your eyes, so to say, involuntarily, is also an action which has its own consequences. So once we are born, we are bound to do actions. And the one who says, I'm not acting, I'm just lying around and doing nothing, he is also acting, because that lying around itself is an action. So there is no escape from action in this world. But we can escape from the doership of this action. And that would lead us to freedom from the enjoyership also. So that is Ashtavakra Gita. Ashtavakra Gita is not antithetic to other ideas of karma yoga or bhakti yoga or some other jnana yoga, hatha yoga. So many other yogas have come: hot yoga, cold yoga, doga. None of this it has a problem with. Do what you want. Do as much also you want. But do it without doership. That is what Ashtavakra is teaching us. Doing is not a problem. We are also doing so many things. Doing is not a problem. Doing with the sense of ego and attachment, doership and enjoyership is the problem. So is it so simple to just get rid of doership? Not at all. So difficult to get rid of doership and enjoyership. Even if you try your very best, little of it remains. And that causes all the confusion later. How do you get rid of doership and enjoyership and completely without a trace of it? Only when you are established in that Brahmasthiti. Then how do you establish yourself in the Brahmasthiti? By getting rid of doership and enjoyership. So what comes first, Monday or Sunday? The chicken and the egg story this is. Where it should begin? I tell them begin anywhere, it's a circle. Begin anywhere. Start with reducing your doership and enjoyership consciously, and eventually you will end up with that Brahmasthiti, that established state of absolute peace and equanimity. Or establish yourself in that peace and equanimity, and slowly your doership and enjoyership will reduce. So it is not two different things. It is like a circle. You start anywhere, you will reach the other side as well. Start somewhere, the idea is that. No, I want to do meditation all day and I want to focus on the idea that I am Brahman. Fine, do that if that suits you. But I know in 20 minutes it won't be comfortable for you. You want to get up and do something. And when you start doing something, then doership creeps in. And then the whole thing is lost. So I always give a balanced approach to everything, the middle path, the golden mean. In spirituality also, it should also be a moderation, a golden mean. And that is what we should do. It means, yes, do your work that you're doing, but try every time to get rid of the doership in it. Try it as just an instrumentation of the divine. I know it won't be happening every time. Simple things you may do it, but something that has big stakes, that both ways, the risks and the rewards it's very difficult to rid yourself of the doership then. Small things you don't bother. I have lifted this box from here and kept it there. What doership in this? Doesn't matter. But if I write an exam using the same pen and say I've just written as instrumentation, whatever comes out of it is fine, that is not going to happen because there are personal involvement, there is emotional investment, there is heavy stakes that are involved. So you don't easily give up doership so easily. But start with small things is what I say. Start small, make steady incremental progress, and one day you will be able to overcome the big ones also. Start somewhere, begin somewhere, because not doing, as I said, lying around in the bed saying I don't want to engage in any action because actions will bind me, that is not going to salvage you, because lying around also is an action, and that will bind you again because your ego is not gone, your doership is not gone. Who is lying around? I am lying around. Who is I? That ego. Identification with the body and mind. So it will again accrue karmas for you. So the idea is not that you don't do any action in this world. Idea is you act in this world without the idea of doership and the consequent enjoyership. Now, that is not easy to, it is easier said than done. It is quite difficult. But every time you have to remind, when you feel your mind wants the credit for things that you have received, tell you will be a thief if you do that, because the credit goes to God. Without God, you could not have done this. It's not even partnership. God alone is the real doer, because that life force, that consciousness makes us do things. Without that, if there is no electricity in the wires, even if you have bulbs and fans and mics and everything else, nothing is going to work. You may say no, but it is a partnership. Unless there was a bulb, what was the use of the electricity? Because electricity would not be able to express itself as light. But I would say yes. But which is more powerful in the two? Even if you put a bulb and there is no electricity, that is not going to work. How many other bulbs you put? Electricity can always find its way to another bulb, if not this. But bulb cannot find another electricity. So God is the reason why we are able to. God means in our scriptural ways, Brahman, the formless, the nameless, supreme consciousness is the reason why everything happens. So that alone is the real doer. Rest all are instruments only. So taking undue credit for it and then seeking rewards and recognition is foolishness. It is like stealing somebody else's things. Like you do this, plagiarism is there in our PhD in India and everywhere now. The people copy from each other and make another PhD out of it. So our authorities have come cracking down on all such people who have done this cut, copy, paste PhDs. There's no original work, no original findings. But left, right, and center PhDs were being given. But that was not adding to any intellectual prowess of the nation. It was a sham. So then they developed softwares. Now I'm told that if you put your PhD for approval, they will run it through a software. And that software will tell you how many words, how many sentences, how many ideas you have copied. Up to 80 or 85% is still allowed. That it means 85% should be pure, your original work. 10-15% we borrow ideas here and that is okay. Some rules are there now. Without passing that test of plagiarism, you cannot get a PhD now. That is how even the works that we put in our articles for various things, they run it through that software so that it doesn't look like you have borrowed ideas from somebody and copy pasted it. So the idea is that somebody else is doing the work. How can you claim its credit? God is doing the PhD. You are copying, and then you want a degree for yourself. That you achieved it. That idea we have to give up, and that requires that you start with dasoha bhava. I am a servant of God. I am an instrument of God. Start with that. That's a very practical way of approaching this problem, because it can be approached from several sides. Like a hill can be climbed from several sides, but you would take the path of least resistance, right? The easier one so that you can climb faster, where the incline is not as steep. So to approach this problem, whether I should get rid of doership or whether I should establish myself in Brahman first, the easier way out is start with the dasoha bhava. I am a servant of God. God has sent me here. I am here. I am a servant. Yes, I am only the divine, but have you realized it? No. Then you shut up and just do what is relevant to your present status of mind. Staying in this place, in this state, you say, no, everything is divine, my good is divine, bad is divine. And do you really understand, experience that? How does it matter? Anyway, it is divine, isn't it? It's like one fellow who murdered somebody, it seems, and he was in the court. And when he was being punished, the judge said that you have murdered somebody and therefore you will be punished. He said, who is murdered? Everybody is divine, so how can you kill the soul that never dies and things like that? He had read probably Ashtavakra Gita half, and then he started telling the judge, arguing, soul never dies, so who kills, who dies? I am not to be punished. He said, who is punishing you? Soul never undergoes any punishment. When we hang you, you don't die, you are the soul. So take it in the same spirit. Are we ready for that is the question. Once a boy asked Bhagavan, if everything is divine and everything happens by divine will, then all the bad that I have done also is because of divine will only. All the bad, that evil that happens in this world also is divine only. Bhagavan said, do you have that faith? Nika namaka munda. Do you really believe that? Simply speaking with your lips is not going to help you. These intellectual arguments are not going to take you any further. You really experience that everything is divine, good, bad, ugly, then it is true. I will take the blame for it. Why all the wars and conflicts and strife and struggles? Also divine will. Let us take it that. But do you really, really have that faith? Are you capable of accepting every situation in your life with this same faith? No. So theoretically, this is not going to make any difference to your evolution. Unless you have experienced that, you have no authority to talk about it. Then you say, yes, everything is divine, bad also is divine, good also is divine, nobody needs to be blamed, nobody needs to be rewarded. Fine. Are you living like that is the question. If you're not living like that, you have no authority to talk like that. You experience that state, then you speak about it. Then everything is okay. Next day something goes wrong with you, your body, your family, your wealth, you will take it in your stride, saying that also is divine will. Something happens amazing the next day without your expectations. You'll also leave it as divine will only. Are you capable of that? No. When good things happen, at best we try to say, okay, try to give up the credit, but very difficult for us because we want to take the credit for the good that has happened. But when bad things happen, we immediately shift the blame to the divine. But my question to all such things are, if you are really mature, then both sides you take as divine or both sides you take as your own problem. You can't take one for the other. If you take one as per your convenience, as our scriptures say, Tair dattan apradayebhyo yo bhungtes tena eva saha. All that which is given by God, when we don't return it back to Him, return means show gratitude to Him, then we are thieves because we are stealing God's credits. It's like that PhD, which is not yours. You copied it from somebody and now you're trying to get a degree out of it, which is not right. This is how scriptures look at those who do not give credit to God. Yes, credit to God, debit also to God, God is okay. Give me both, I will accept it. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. Give up everything and come to me. I'll accept your bad also, good also, both I will take up. It become my responsibility. But you want to give bad to me saying you did not do this. Good you want to take it to yourself saying I did it. That is not going to work. You can't cheat. So that is the idea. Doership and enjoyership is a very, very tough demand, tough ask. Very difficult. I have struggled with this idea for such a long time. It took a long time to let mind totally, completely accept it from its depths that you are not the doer and enjoyer. It took a lot of effort. How Janaka has reached a stage where he is untouched, undisturbed, unperturbed by all that which happens around him. He does not feel involved or attached. He does not feel the doership of it, and he is established in that state of absolute peace and happiness. That is his position right now. It's really enviable because not everybody gets to be like that. It's not easy. So that is what he has achieved. So this is what was the last para, and I dwelt on it more because this is the practical problem you will face. All other theories are okay, but how to get rid of doer and enjoyership, and what do you get at the end of it? That is what I wanted to tell. Our scriptures are very kind. They said, we are not expecting you to achieve it on day one. We will give you all the time in the world. In fact, lifetimes we will give you. Keep walking, keep journeying, but don't stop. That is the idea. Next sloka is 13.4 on page number 157. It says, Karma Naishkarmya Nirbandha Bhava Dehastha Yoginaha Sanyoga Yoga Virahat Ahamase Yatha Sukham. He says this idea of action and inaction. Some people, as I mentioned, once they start working, they can't stop. The others, when they stop working, they cannot start. And once we stop working, we simply dip into those depths of lethargy and laziness and inaction, and then very difficult to get back to work again. These are who? These are the people who have not attained the state that Janaka has attained. They are the bound ones. Bandha, nirbandha bhava. Bandha means bound. Nirbandha means I am free from these compulsive behavioral disorders, like I have to do it, or I can't do it, I won't do it. Both ways I have become free. Even though dehastha yoginaha, even though dwelling in the body, a yogi is like that, he's saying. A yogi is how? He is free from this idea of action and inaction, even though he also dwells in the same kind of body as everybody does. He also does the same things as everybody does. But he is free from the idea that I have to do or I don't want to do. Whatever is happening, as he says, yadayat kartum ayati, whatever comes his way is happily instrumenting the divine will, and he is free from all the action inaction. Though he is still in the body. You may say if he is not in the body, he is free. No, in the body also he is free. Then sanyoga yoga virahat. Sanyoga means union, or viyoga means, or ayoga means disunion. Sanyoga ayoga virahat. I am free from union and disunion. It means attachment or detachment to the action or inaction. I am free in both ways. I am not bound by actions or the attachments to the outcomes that come out of action. And this is how I am. Aham ase. That is how I remain. Yatha sukham. In that state of happiness, naturally I am like this now. Yes, there were times when I really wanted to do so many things and I wanted to achieve this, do that, go here, experience that. Or I had times when I didn't want to do that, I didn't want to go here, I didn't want to experience that. I was bound by these ideas of doing and not doing, and also the idea of attachment to whatever I did or whatever I could not do. Now I am free. I am free from these ideas and I am established in that peaceful, equanimous self. It doesn't affect me anymore. It doesn't mean that I don't do any work. No, I do. But that work happens through me. I am an instrument of God and it happens through me. I don't feel the burden of doing it and then the anxiety of the outcome. That's what we learnt yesterday. Before the work, during the work, and after the work, your state of mind should be the same, peaceful and equanimous. Can you attain that state? Is it that easy? From my practical experience, not at all. I'm not going to make it sound like, yes, everybody can achieve it. No. Only those who are absolutely courageous to take up this path and are persevering despite all challenges, they alone can take it. For others, this path is not there. That is why kaschit dhira. Only few people walk this path. Manushyanam sahastreshu kaschit yadasiddhaye yattatamapi siddhanam kaschit mam veti tatvataha. Of all the thousands of people, few people walk the spiritual path. And those who walk amongst this, rarely a few reach the destination. Rest of them will fall away on the way. It is not for all. Oh, then it is very depressing. Can we achieve it at all? But anybody can achieve it if they put their heart and soul into it. And this idea that you are doing and yet not touched by anything, it is an amazing feeling. It is an amazing feeling. As I said, you have no memory of what happened because as if you didn't do it at all. You come out of that experience and feel, did it even happen? That kind of feeling is what you get at the end of such an experience where you are not having the doership and choice. This is what he's saying. A beautiful shloka comes from Mandukya Karika. It's not here because as I said, I read things later after this book, as book's contents were ready. And it's called a yoga called Asparsha Yoga. It means yoga of not being touched. Sparsha means touch, Asparsha means no touch yoga. Now what is this no touch yoga? Touch me not yoga. It's not touch me not yoga. That is also a lot of people are there, touch me not yogis here. Somebody by mistake touches them, that's it, their mercury goes up. How dare you touch me? You spoilt my whatever purity, energy, my aura, my discipline. Somebody sits on their chair, that is it. How dare you sit on my chair? They are touch me not yogis, I call them. But these are not touch me not yogis, these are non-touch yogis. What does it mean? Asparsha yoga. The shloka I have picked up, you can read it from Mandukya Karika later. Asparsha yoga vai nama durdarshaha sarva yogi bihi yogino bibhyati hyasmad abhaye bhaya darshinaha. Which means there is a yoga by name Asparsha, no touch yoga. What does that mean? And this yoga is very difficult. Durdashaha sarva yogi bihi. Even for the greatest of the yogis, this yoga is very difficult. What are the difficult yogas? Stand on one leg, hang from a tree, go into a mountainous cave in the mountain, wear nothing, eat nothing, don't have a family, beg and survive. All these are difficult yogas only. Any one of these is not easy. But people can do this and you feel, oh, how can they even do this? This is so difficult. But this shloka says, worse or more difficult than this. The next level is this asparsha yoga, no touch yoga. What does that mean? The next line says, yogino bibhyati hasmat abhaye bhaya darshinaha. Yogis are also scared of practicing this yoga. It's poetry. Yogis are scared to attempt this yoga. It is so difficult. Like we all do asanas. Some people who are very good at those, they will try out some very complicated asanas. Normal people, just to stretch only is difficult. So even the best of the yoga gurus are afraid of this new asana. No touch, don't touch asana. What is this? He says, being untouched by all that happens around you is the yoga that he's talking about. Not being touched by all the doership, enjoyership and everything that comes with it and still remain active is a very, very difficult yoga to perform. Normal yogis don't even have the courage to attempt this. They're happy with their chanting mantras, standing on one leg, not eating, roaming around naked. All that is easy. I told you yesterday, external things are very easy. Giving up external things, wearing ochre robes, shaving off your head, eating one time a day, begging in the streets and eating, or living without a home and a family, seemingly difficult are actually easy compared to this one, where you cannot get involved, cannot get engaged, cannot be touched by all that happens. But you are nevertheless super active. It's like you go out in the rain, but not a drop should touch you. How does that happen? How can we achieve that? You are active, fully engaged, very busy, yet you are untouched by anything that is happening around you. How is it even possible under the sky, you would wonder. That is why most of the yogis are scared of even attempting this, is how Mandukya Karika presents it, saying that it is so subtle. External giving up things is very easy, which itself looks very difficult for a worldly person. But this is far tougher, he says, because internally you have to give up the attachment to things. And that is Asparsha Yoga, the internal renunciation. That is Asparsha Yoga. And then our Mandukya Karika continues to explain how to reach that state of mind where you are not affected, not touched, not involved at all, yet you are active, yet you are very busy, but nothing touches you. The praise and the blame and the credit or the debit or the good and the bad, nothing touches you. But you are active. It's not that you ran away from the situation. You are very much there facing all the things. So one shloka is there in the Mandukya Karika only it comes. This is 39. The 41st shloka says, 41st one, Utseka udadheryata kushagrenaike binduna manaso nigrahastat bhavet parikhedataha. Which means, what kind of effort does it need to reach this stage of yoga where you are untouched by anything? Your mind is absolutely under your control and there is no fluctuations. How do you reach that state? He says, what kind of effort it takes? He says, Utseka udadheryat. Like if you want to empty the ocean of water with kushagrenai. Kushagraha, kushagrena eke binduna. Like with the tip of a grass. Drop by drop you have to empty the ocean. That is the effort it takes. Likewise, as if you are trying to empty the ocean with a blade of grass and with its tip, not even the whole blade, tip of the blade of grass, drop by drop you are trying to empty the ocean. Likewise, manaso nigrahastat. Control your mind like that, he's saying. Bhavet aparikhedataha means without getting distressed. See, little meditation, 15 minutes, ayo, amba, appa, we start, this is enough for today. Enough of mind control for today. We get up and walk away. He's saying, imagine you should have the patience, perseverance, and not get distressed. If you are given a task to empty the ocean with the tip of the blade of a grass drop by drop, the amount of patience, perseverance that it would take, that is the amount of patience and perseverance it takes to settle the mind into this state of the self. And people want to do 20 minutes meditation and attain it, saying, why I did not experience anything? Swami, please bless me. Fast forward this, accelerate this. No, it won't. Are we willing to put that kind of effort to reach this state which Janaka has attained? Are we really that persistent in our sadhana? One day we wake up, one day we don't wake up, one day it is done, other day or some other important work has come. What gets sacrificed in the day's time? God only gets sacrificed. All other things get prioritized. First thing to get sacrificed in our day is God. Second thing that sacrificed in a day is bath. And third thing that gets sacrificed in a day is food. Work we want to do because we are workaholics. We want to attain some things out of it. Especially student life I have seen. Where is that persistency? Where is that consistency? Where is that real perseverance in our sadhana? Gaudapada is saying, your effort should be like the effort of a person who is trying to empty the ocean using a blade of grass, that too its tip and drop by drop. That much effort it takes for mind to keep coming back. It will run away, of course. Then you bring it back again. It will run away again. Bringing it back. This effort to keep bringing it back to the steady state of zero, it's not easy. And people think spirituality should happen like that just because I'm sitting here or you are in an ashram. No. That is how Janaka has attained this state. How many years he has struggled, how much sadhana he has done, how much purity and patience and perseverance he has had, that he is able to enjoy this state. And we think somehow magic should happen. Bhagavan, you put your hand on my head and give me that Atma Gyan. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It requires that much of patience. So if somebody has reached this state, how much respect we should have for such a person? May not be in this lifetime he has done all these efforts. But our lifetimes of efforts has culminated into this state today. That is why we were so respectful to yogis, sannyasis, sadhus, and the great ones. Even the kings would bow down. Because kings know winning a war and ruling a kingdom is easy. But reaching this state of asparsha yoga, untouched, unaffected, undesirous of everything in the world, and living as it comes, is very difficult. Even the greatest, we call great kings in India, right? Great ones are there. From Prithviraj Chauhans to Shivaji Maharaj to the great Ashoka, to Alexander the Great who came, to the Vijayarangaras, Cholas, Pallavas, Chalukyas, Pandyas, name it. None of them have achieved this, what this has achieved. Only Bhartrihari is one king. He achieved this. This Bhartrihari, as I told you, the story was that he was very fond of his wife. One day, it so happens, his guru comes and notices this man is getting too involved in the married life, unable to rule the kingdom properly, is not following his dharma, must do something about it. So he brings a fruit, the fruit of immortality. And he says, I'll give it to you, Bhartrihari. This will help you to live forever, and that way you will be able to rule the kingdom. This is only a trick of the guru. Now this Bhartrihari calls his dear wife and says, what will I do living more than you? I must live only as much time as you live, because beyond you I don't want to live. So rather you eat this fruit and you live forever and remain young and beautiful, so that I can always be with you and enjoy your company. She takes the fruit saying, okay, I'll eat it in the night later, O king. And in the night she has an affair with the commander-in-chief of the army. Secretly meets him and says, love with you so much that I can't live without you, and you can die anytime because of wars and other things that you participate in. So you eat this fruit and you live forever so that I can enjoy your company and be with you. The commander-in-chief says, oh yeah, thank you, I'll eat it in the morning. And then in the night he goes and meets a maid servant, it seems. A maid servant whom the commander-in-chief is in love with. And tells that maiden that, I love you so much. Without you, how will I live? I can die any time, but you must live on. And here this fruit is there, it will give you immortality to eat that. And story goes on, I do not know, there is one or two more steps. Maybe this maid servant goes and gives it to the charioteer of the king, because that fellow she was in love with. So that charioteer takes, and this charioteer goes and gives it to a prostitute in that town whom he loved. And finally the prostitute has the brains. She thinks, what is my wretched life? If I live longer, people are only going to torture me more. Let me give this fruit to our king, who is such a wise, noble man. He will rule the kingdom forever. And she goes and gives the fruit back to the king. Then Bhartrihari gets a shock. She said, where did you get this fruit from? She said, I got it from the charioteer, because he often comes to me. He's my client. Charioteer, where did you get this from? Well, I got it from the maid servant of the palace, who is in love with me. Oh, maid servant, where did you get this from? I got it from the commander-in-chief. What? How did commander-in-chief get this from? I got it from your beloved wife. Bhartrihari is shocked. He says, that's it. I don't want this world. I don't want this kingdom. I don't want wife. I don't want any of things. I want God. Because God alone won't cheat. Everybody else cheats. So then he goes to his guru and says, Gorakhnath, please redeem me of this nonsense that I have gotten into. Gorakhnath says, good, now he has learnt his lesson. Let him come. And he passes on his kingdom to his younger brother Vikramaditya. This is Ujjain. This is Madhya Pradesh right now, Ujjain. And he lives with his guru Gorakhnath. And then he composes a beautiful poetry of 100 verses called Vairagya Shatakam. Vairagya means detachment and Shatakam means 100. So 100 verses on the idea of detachment. It is very good. If you read it thoroughly, if not all of you, half of you will not get into this world at all after reading that Vairagya Shatakam. It is so powerful. Means if you dwell over it, not a poetic literature kind of reading, but you dwell over every sentence, which is that Bhartrihari's life's experience, at the end you will feel so detached from this world, so dispassionate. Is it worth it? Like that you will feel. You do not want to engage with this world. That is the power of that Vairagya Shatakam, which is written because it has come out from the depths of his experience. It's not something that he's borrowed an idea and one day had a cup of coffee and wrote a poem. No. It came out from his experience. And when words come out from the depths of truth, as Tagore says, they have huge power. And they remain that way, with that power, even if they are read 1,000 centuries later by some totally unknown person. Because they are truth. And truth is ever, forever. So Bhartrihari's verses will hit you like arrows straight into your heart. So I was reading a few in this morning. And I thought I'll share one or two, how beautifully he writes. Of course, few shlokas in the beginning will start with, in this world I have roamed around, begged for silly things, stood with folded hand in front of terrible people for my desires. What all I have not done, I have bent so low and lived a wretched life just to satisfy my desires. What kind of nonsense? All that he will tell. But somewhere he says, this shloka also tells from the Bhogana Bhuktaha Vayameva Bhuktaha. Means we do not enjoy pleasures. Pleasures enjoy us. It means they consume us. We die trying in seeking pleasures. Then he says, Tapona Taptaha Vayameva Taptaha. And this idea that I am going to do tapas and attain God, we do it with the desire for that God. That also doesn't work. The tapas itself kills us. Because we don't have the right understanding of why we are doing it. Trishnana Jirna Vayameva Jirna. Our desires are never fulfilled, never satisfied, never done. We are done in the process when we die. Kalo na yato vayameva yataha. We don't spend time. We don't kill time. Time kills us. This is the life we lead. That is how one shloka I had picked up. One more shloka, after having all these things, towards the end of this Vairagya Shatakam, he says this kind of beautiful things. He says, in the early times only, in 12th shloka or something, he says, Brahmandam mandali matram kim lobhaya manasvinaha shariras purite hana abdhihi shubdho na khalu jayate. Which means, this whole world to a jnani appears like a mandala. Mandala means like a dome. The sky is like a dome. There is some show is going on. Remember circus tents and domes? And some show is going on. Nothing is real, nothing is for true. This is a magic show. So such a person who sees the world like this, like a magic show under a big dome, where is the question for such a person to become desirous of anything in this world? Because everything is fake. Everything is unreal. So where is the question of you developing a desire and running behind it? There is no question, because you have seen through the farce, the falsity, the unrealness of this world. Like, how is this yogi's mind? Shafaris purite na abdhihi, kshubdho na khalu jayate. He says, like a fish, when it moves inside the ocean, it doesn't churn the ocean because it is too small to churn the ocean. Your existence is that oceanic existence of consciousness. And these little petty, silly things of the world are like a small fish which is moving about within you. Does it really churn your mind, churn your heart? It shouldn't. Like a small fish cannot disturb the ocean. Likewise, these silly, petty things of the world should not disturb the mind of a yogi, he says. What a nice comparison, right? Imagine we see a new watch, can I have it? We see a new phone, we see a new one person, new friend, new items, so many things, and our hearts are churned. No, we are restless till we attain it, not able to sleep, not able to wake up, not able to do anything. Only that thought is consuming us. Whose is this mind? The mind of Bhogi, the one who wants to enjoy the world somehow, desirous of it. The mind of the yogi is undisturbed. Even in them, the desires come like the small fishes. But they are inconsequential. Their hearts don't churn. Their minds don't get disturbed. Their life is not thrown in a disarray. They are all calm and they continue. These fishes are there, they do their thing. I am the ocean, I am undisturbed. I'm too big to be disturbed by these small, silly, petty desires of the world. That is how one comparison. I like this shloka, so I pulled it out. And one more it says, which is really my heart's desire too. At 89th shloka, he says, Ekaki nispraha shanta pani patro digambaraha kada shambho bhavishyami karma nirmulakshamaha. Which means he says, Ekaki, fully single focused, nispraha, without any desire, shantaha, absolutely peaceful, pani patro, eats only as much it fits in his one palm. That's it. He has no vessels to carry and store, no refrigerator and ovens. He just has his hand for his vessel. So whatever people put in his hand, he eats that much and is happy. And digambaraha, his clothing is the sky. It means he doesn't wear anything, or whatever he gets, he wears. He doesn't care. And kada shambho bhavishyami, when will, O Lord Shiva, such a day will come to me, he says. When I am free from all desires, I am absolutely peaceful, I can focus on you. I have only hand for a bowl and I have the sky for my clothes. Oh Shiva, when will such a day come to me? Karma nirmoolam akshama. When I will be capable of uprooting my karmas from the root. When I have no karmas left, nothing to do, nothing to achieve, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. When will such a day ever happen? Will such a day ever happen to me? He says. What a beautiful idea. And I get very inspired by these ideas. It says, Shantaha, I am absolutely in peaceful state. Why? Because Nispraha, there is no desire in me. Ekaki, I am only one focus, single focused is on my Brahmasthiti. Everything else is not my focus. Running hospital is not my focus. Running college and schools not focus. Students are behaving, misbehaving is not my focus. Devotees are listening, not my focus. Donations are coming, not my focus. Nothing is my focus. My focus is just one Brahmasthiti. Without desire, absolutely peaceful. And what do I require to sustain myself? Handful of food that somebody places in my palm. I don't even have a plate and a vessel to say this much I will carry. Whatever somebody puts, I eat and then I carry on. And clothes, what about your clothes? No clothes. I don't need one. I'll roam naked without any clothes. Why? Because the clothes means your dependencies. I want to remain independent. Oh Shiva, kada shambho bhavishyami. When will such a thing happen to me? Bhartrihari is saying to himself. And after this, many beautiful shlokas follow. He imagines of a life in the Himalayas. And he keeps telling, have the herbs and the fruit trees dried up? Have the rivers stopped flowing? Are the mountains not having any caves? Then why am I roaming in this world? Why I am not going there? Like that he asks himself. And he says, when will such a day come that when I will sit by the banks of the river Ganges in the lap of Himalayas and lose myself in the Brahmasthiti, and the tears of joy I will shed, which the birds fearlessly will sit on my lap and drink from me. When will such a day come? When will I be in Himalayas, lost in myself, and the Himalayan deers are there, those animals. They'll think I am a rock and they will rub their back against my body. When such a day will come to me, like that he prays. That freedom he is seeking as a king, because he has seen enough of the world. He has done good, bad, ugly things for the sake of whatever, satisfying his body, mind and senses. And he has gone through bad and good experiences. Enough is enough, he says. Now I don't want. I'm dreaming of a day when I can be in the lap of Himalayas by the river Ganges. I can pluck flowers and fruits from the trees that are very generous to us. I will eat those, and with those flowers I'll worship you, O Shiva. And I will lose myself in meditation and shed tears of bliss, which the birds will drink from, fearlessly sitting on my lap, and animals will rub their backs against mine, thinking I am after all a piece of rock there. When will such a focus, concentration, and life will come to me, he prays. Wherever you are, that is your Ganges. Whichever state you are, that is your state of Samadhi. No going here and there, not allowed. I'm just trying to pull out those beautiful shlokas. That Sanskritam is little tough, Bhartrihari's. Ashtavakra is very easy. Even Bhagavad Gita is easy. But little long verses and too many sandhis, so slightly difficult the Bhartrihari's Vairagya Shatkam. But what I'm saying is that he dreamt of such a day when he would be free from all these bondages. His karmas are uprooted. He has nothing to do, nothing to achieve, nothing to lose, gain, or enjoy or not enjoy. All this is done with. When such a day will come is the heart of a yogi. A bhogi will think the reverse. Buy the next big bungalow. When will my wealth swell to 10 times? When will I have children, grandchildren, great grandchildren? When will I be able to enjoy traveling around the world, seeing sceneries of all kinds? When will I buy the newest collection of watches and the latest edition of the car or the gadgets? These are the desires with which a bhogi sleeps. When a yogi sleeps, when will I be in the lap of Himalayas? When will I sit by Ganges? When will I shed tears of bliss? When will these animals rub their backs against my thinking I'm a piece of rock? I will be so lost in samadhi. When will such a day occur to me, O Lord, when I'll eat from the fruit trees and worship you with the flowers that grow in the wild? Bless me with such a day, is what Bhartrihari's prayer is. Anyway, after that wonderful flight of imagination, I come back here. A flight of fantasy for me. Such a day would be so beautiful. But not given to me. As I said, I am not. It's not given to us. We have been put on another path, and hopefully one day God will be kind and say, "Fine, you have done enough. Now you enjoy that solitude and that freedom from everything that you always desired for." Maybe someday. So 13.5, the shloka is Artha anarthau name sthitya gatya na shayanena va tishtan gachan swapan tasmat ahamase yatha sukham. All this idea of artha anartha, fortune and misfortunes. In the world it will happen. Someday good days, some fortune will happen. You win a lottery, you become wealthy. Other day you lose everything on the roads. Both can happen, artha anartha. Name sthitya. For me it doesn't happen anymore. I am not established in artha and anartha and seeking pleasures and avoiding sorrows or making wealth and or avoiding losses. All those days are over for me. I have done all that in my past, are over. Gatya na shayanena va. In whichever situation I am, while I am moving or I am sleeping. In all states, whether I am awake or I am asleep. In none of these states this idea of losing or gaining matters to me anymore. Tishthan, when I am sitting, gachan, when I am walking, swapan, when I am dreaming, tasmat, ahamase, therefore I am, yatha sukham, I am in the state of peace and happiness, because no more gains and losses matter to me. No more good days and bad days matter to me. No more fortune and misfortune matters to me. How? Not only when I am awake, when I am aware, when I am conscious, even in my state of dream, sleep, or in whichever state I am in, it doesn't matter to me anymore. Many people in daytime, they can consciously avoid their thoughts. Suppose some thought is bothering you, you can bring the mind back to your original state and get rid of that bothering thought, nagging thoughts. But in dream, those thoughts come from your subconscious mind and bother you. How do you control them? You have no control over your dreams. You sleep and then dreams start off on their own. And what are these dreams? All these thoughts accumulated in your head which did not find expression during the day when you are awake, they all find their expression in the dream in the night. Accumulated thoughts. So he says, even in my dream, I do not bother about these fortunes and misfortunes. They don't bother me anymore. I am free from all that. We say, no, in dream also we do not want to suffer or do not want to think of somebody's bad, we say. It means because it is not in our control. It is the subconscious mind. So in that level also, in the subtlest level of my existence also, I am no more attached to the idea of gaining and losing and amassing and squandering or fortunes and misfortunes. I'm beyond all these things now. Remember, Janaka has not quit the kingdom. He has not resigned from his job as a king. He is right there inside his courtroom right now when Ashtavakra is sitting on his Simhasana and he is sitting at the feet of Ashtavakra and talking all these things. That even though I sit established right in the center of this court, the seat of power, from where I rule the entire kingdom, I am not affected by the fortunes and misfortunes. That doesn't bother because I know it is not real. All the gains are not real, all the losses also not real. I have come to that state. Lot of us would imagine that to be, but when it really happens to us, we are not at peace at all. But I am at peace. Janaka says, I am over and above all this, beyond all this. Even though I am right in the center of the court, in the middle of the kingdom, yet I am unaffected by what's going to happen or what is happening or what has happened. None of these bother me anymore. What an exalted state of existence you see. Here I see little something we lose our sleep, health, everything over it. And little we gain something, oh, nobody can control our enthusiasm and excitement. You want to throw parties and call people and enjoy and make a big noise of it. How excited we get with a little gain and how depressed we get with a little loss. And we start looking around, blaming, shouting, crying, foul, fighting. How much disturbance we create for ourselves and everybody around us. Why? Because so desirous a world, we have not learnt any spirituality. See, hundreds of years you may spend reading scriptures. But Atmaikya Bodhena Vinapi Mukti Na Siddhyati Brahmashatantarepi, says Adi Shankaracharya. Till you know the self, your mukti is not going to happen. Even in 100 years of Brahma, if you keep reading Yajantu Devata, Bhajantu, this thing, that thing, Vadantu Shastrani, Kurvantu Karmani, he says. Keep doing as many rituals you want. Keep reading as many scriptures you want. Go to as many temples you want. Worship as many gods you want. Till you have understood what the self is, your problems are not done. So read all the scriptures and tomorrow some losses happen, that's it, everything is going to go for a toss. Read these scriptures and tomorrow something amazing, exciting happens and you are unable to control your excitement, nothing is of use to you. But Janaka has overcome all these things. So this state itself is so exalted. What amazes me is that in Indian scriptures such a state is mentioned. And there is a mention of people who have attained this state. How inspiring, how hopeful. Where else we'll find these kind of lofty ideas? Let us say it is all theory. Let us say it does not exist. Even then the idea is so inspiring, isn't it? That itself is a great fortune that we have the scriptures and we have ability to read those. It is all printed right in our hands. Not like you have to search a guru in some forest and he would only tell you orally and he won't even repeat his lessons. No gurus used to repeat their lessons. They used to expect absolute concentration from the students. No Gurukula ever repeated the lesson. One time it was told and it used to go inside the student's head. That's it. That focus used to be there in the Gurukulam students of the past. No repetitions of lessons. Once told, goes into their mind. Of course, the Shishya will go and recite and repeat to remember. Guru will only tell once. That kind of concentration was expected of the students. That's why our rishis were so great. They explored, they found every secret of the world, spiritual and material. They discovered mathematics from zero to decimals. They found out the astronomy of the planets and stars. They discovered these nakshatras which are valid even today. They wrote calendars. They wrote so many sciences. Today is Dhanvantri Jayanti, Ayurveda. The science of medicine was created by these rishis. You name it, from geography to geometry to geology to anything under the sky. They knew everything. Why? This kind of focus and concentration. Today's student, 20 minutes is their attention span, the media tells me. Beyond 20 minutes, no student has any attention span. I wonder how your people are sitting or you're sleeping, I do not know. This world is changing. The distractive, what you call that, there's a syndrome for that. ADHD, attention disorder, some syndrome, right? So they don't have attention span at all. 20 minutes, they're distracted, they want to do something else. And this reel culture and scrolling culture has made it even worse. People can go on scrolling for 3 hours, 4 hours mindlessly, addicted to that. Or gaming. That is another madness. Once you sit only 3 hours, 4 hours, even you don't want to go to bathroom, suffering. Sitting there in the chair, your kidneys are all swollen and yet you don't want to miss a moment. Look at how the people have made mince of this meat of human vulnerabilities. Our gurus would do the reverse. They will teach scriptures and make them stronger in their mind and character. And today's world, feeding them with nonsense and making them weaker and weaker and weaker in the name of doing more businesses. How horrible the world is. This is a crusade against all these nonsense that is happening in the world, in the Gurukulam like this. That is why these people who come from outside, they are mesmerized. They're saying this is such a great fortune. These children are getting what nobody gets in the world even after paying. So amazing, they keep telling. But our people, they wake us at 4:30. They don't let us go and scroll on the phones. They don't let us post unnecessary reels in Instagram. They don't allow to watch movies which are of no use to anybody. They don't allow us to listen to songs which have no head and tail. They don't allow so many things they complain about. But imagine what is actually your learning is what is building your character for the future. And that is what these scriptures did to the students. And this is the idea that even in all the states, whether I'm sitting, sleeping, moving, walking, talking, awake, asleep, I am unaffected by the losses and gains, anartha, artha, nartha, punya, papa, nothing matters to me anymore. I do what I've got to do. No, I'm not saying I've run away from responsibilities, but I'm not affected by it. Then what does he say? There's a shloka on 164, which is from Bhagavad Gita, just as a cross reference, which says the same idea which comes in from Bhagavad Gita, which says, the knower of truth, how does he live? Naiva kinchit karomi iti yukto manyeta tattvit. The tattvavid, the knower of the self, believes I am not the doer of anything. All this is happening through me, but I don't attribute it to my doing. What all? Pashyan, seeing, shrunvan, listening, sprishan, touching, jigran, smelling, ashnan, eating, gachan, moving, swapan, dreaming, shwasan, breathing, pralapan, talking, visrujan, giving up or rejecting, grihan, accepting, unmishan, opening eyes, nimishan, closing the eyes. All these I don't attribute to my doing. Then who is doing? Indriyani indriyartheshu vartanta iti dharayan. I completely firmly believe indriyas are there, body has been made like that, eyes will open, eyes will close, nose will breathe in and breathe out, hands will touch, taste, or whatever, tongue will taste. These are a part of the process. I am not associating myself with this. I am the self, which is untouched by all these things. That is how the Jnani in Bhagavad Gita is described. The same thing Janaka is saying over here. In all these states of existence, awake, asleep, in deep sleep, moving, talking, working, not working, in every state I am unaffected by these ideas of good, bad, or losses and gains. Then the next sloka, 13.6, in the similar tone says, Swapato nasti me hanihi siddhir yatnavato nava. In the dream or in sleeping, I don't lose things. When I wake up, I don't gain it. Nashollaso vihaya asmat ahamase yathasukam. This ullasa, excitement of things, all that has been destroyed, and I've given up these ideas that I'm losing or gaining things, and now I'm absolutely in the steady state of peace. Swapto nasti. When I'm sleeping, things are not lost. Materially, you can think like this. When you're sleeping, somebody may steal your things away, or when you are not watching, somebody may cheat you. And when I'm awake, I'm able to work and gain and achieve things. That is how one can think on a superficial level. But deeper level, what? When we dream, what happens to the world? When we're sleeping, what happens to the world? What happens to your wife and children and wealth and property? They all disappear, isn't it? When you're in deep sleep, do you even know that you exist? You don't know you exist. Only when you wake up, as if you have gained back everything that you lost during your sleep. Because sleep is, in a way, a miniature death. It is like death. Why? Because we know nothing about ourselves. Except that we are alive. When we wake up, we wake up. But otherwise, we don't remember a thing of what happened to us, how wealthy we were or how rich we were before going to deep sleep. Nothing we remember in deep sleep, as if everything has disappeared, as if everything we have lost. And when we wake up, as if everything we have gained back. These ideas also don't exist in me. Whether it is real, whatever physical loss, or the loss of the conscious mind in the deep sleep, it is not a real loss and it is not a real gain. Both are not real. That is how he is very firmly established in that. I'm not affected by this. So he's saying that therefore there is no excitement. When I wake up, do I say, oh, I regain my house, regain my wife, regain my children, regain my business and properties? No. Do we lament when we go to deep sleep, I've lost my wife, my children, my family, my property, because I remember nothing of it? No. Likewise, in this world, things come and go, Jagat. They are here now, they are not there tomorrow. That is why it is called Jagat. So deal with it, that's it. Why you have to become attached to anything? If it comes, fine. If it doesn't come, also fine. As I said, you should develop the detachment of Bhartrihari, who says, all I'm happy with a fistful or palm full of food, that's enough. I don't have any other vessel. This is my vessel, this is my mouth. I eat that much, as much it fits in my palm. I can't carry more than this. And I wear the sky for the clothing. I sleep on the shloka goes on like this. I sleep on earth for the bed, and like this, and so many things. And I wear bark of the tree, and so on. So idea is that for such a person, where is loss, where is gain? What can you take away from such a person? What can you give to such a person who is not bothered about all these things? You might decorate him in gold and silver and diamonds and pearls. Do you think it matters to him? Or you take away everything from such a person and leave him on the road. Do you think that matters to him? Both do not matter, because he's happy with a fistful of food. That's it, all he needs. He doesn't expect anything. All he expects is I should remain peaceful, desireless, focused on my Brahmasthiti. I'll eat out of one hand and I will roam carefree, naked. I have no problem with that. For such a person, who can tempt such a person and make him work? Nobody can bind such a person. The last shloka of this is on the next page, which says, Sukhadi Rupa Niyamam Bhavishya Lokya Bhurishaha Shubha Shubhe Vihayasmat Ahamase Yathasukam. Similar kind of shloka is Sukhadi Rupa, happiness, pleasures, and their various manifestations and forms. Pleasure that you get from your wife, from your children, from wealth, from progeny, from name, fame, position, power, gains, profits. All these are different varieties of pleasures or sukha we experience in the world. He has understood the rule of it. Niyamam. They are niyamam, they are controlled, they are in a structured way. Bhaveshvalokya. Bhaveshu means these are all just experiences. I have understood that these are just passing clouds, like experiences that come and go. Avalokya, I have carefully observed this. Bhurisha, again and again. I am happy today, tomorrow I am sad. Day after again I become happy. Again the next day I am sad. Few days I remain happy. Again a few days I suffer. This is something that is like a rule. By some kind of a rule, by some kind of a law, it repeats itself. It repeats itself. So you can't be too sure if you are happy today. You can't be too sure that you will be happy tomorrow also. It may not be so. It changes. Also variety of happiness is there. And it comes and goes, all of it. I have noticed this, I have observed this carefully, and I have stopped running and chasing this. Because I know there is no point, because it is going to change. Today it is a good day, tomorrow it is going to be a bad day. I don't insist that every day should be good day anymore. I have understood this because I have observed carefully that this is how it is. So what did I do? Shubha Shubhe Vihaya. I have given up the idea of this is a good day, that is a bad day. These are the good things that have happened to me, those are the bad things that have happened to me. These are the nice things that have happened to me, those are not nice. I have given up all these ideas because it is a chakra, it is a cycle, it will repeat itself whether I want it or not. That is the way world is created. I have figured that out, he says. So now when you know this is the nature of the world, where is the question of you insisting upon any changes? When you know it is rainy season, it's going to rain, you accept it. What's the point in complaining why it's raining, why it's raining? It is going to rain, it is the season. Likewise, this world is made like that the sukha, dukkha, happiness and sorrows will come in circles. They'll keep in cycles. It's seasonal. I cannot demand that all through the year spring only remains. No winter should happen, no summer should happen. No rains should come just because the spring season is nice. No, I can't demand like that. I have understood that. Now that I have understood the nature of the world, I have stopped this foolish insistence that things should be the way I want. Things should always be happy for me. I should not suffer. I should not have any sorrow. I should always enjoy happiness. I have given up these wrong notions because I have accepted that the world is designed like that. That is the basic rule. When people come and cry about their problems, I only wonder, you also had good days, right? Of course, some bad days will come. No, good days nobody cried. Why I am only enjoying everything? Why my life is so good? Bad days, everybody comes, lines up, queues outside. Why my days are bad? Why I am only going through? Why that? But the one who is a jnani, who is observed, that is the nature of the world. He would accept, yes, good days will be there and bad days will be there, and I must go beyond that. You don't expect every day to be the same. This is what Janaka is saying. I have learnt all these things. Earlier, foolishly, I used to insist that every day should be the way I want it to be. But today, I have given up this foolish idea. I have understood this is the way, the structure, the design. By default, it is like this. I cannot change that. What can I do? I can change myself. And which is to accept it with equanimity, with wisdom. Yes, the one is today with us, tomorrow is going to die. We can only live together for so long. I can't expect immortality. Live on and on and on and enjoy. No, not possible. This acceptance gives you a lot of peace of mind. See, when you don't accept things, you resist things, you fight things, you're at a loss of your inner peace, and then you can't think right, you can't do things. But once you accept this tragedy has happened, this fate has befallen upon me, this is my destiny, this is how it is, Daiva Deveti Nishchaya. It has happened for whatever reason, you accept it, 50% of the problem solved, 50 or 90% of the problem is solved. You are able to accept. I've seen their patients, some of great devotees, got cancer. They came, Swami, we discovered it too late. It is already in the final stages. What do you want us to do? I said, now that you know it is in the final stages, there's nothing much can be done about it. What do you want? Nothing, we don't want anything. Just give me the strength to go through it. And let me leave the world peacefully. Ramana Maharshi was like that. Somebody, one Ganapati was there, Shastri. He went to Ramana Maharshi and said, he was a newcomer. So he told Ramana Maharshi, you came in my dream and you called me. I didn't know who you were. I searched and searched and searched. Finally found you were this person and I came here to you. Ramana Maharshi told very clearly, I didn't do anything. What? You came in my dream. It was you. I said, yes. It could be in my form. It was divine. Divine wanted to call you to me for whatever next phase of your life you needed to learn from me, whatever was the need. Yes, called, I'm okay with that. If you felt that was the experience, you come. I don't attribute it to myself. Ramana Maharshi very clear. This I learned from him. I'm very clear that that is all divinely done. As a body, mind, I am not doing anything. As a self, whatever is happening, it is divine will under a great divine big design. So to that extent, I don't get excited nor I get anxious. Whatever happens, it is when. But then people are people. When they don't have the things as per their wish and favorable, they blame. When they have things as per their wish, then they are praising, they dance all around. And when you do something for long enough, you will become good at it. There is no doubt about it. So that is what Bruce Lee used to say. He says, I'm not scared of somebody who has practiced 1,000 moves, but I'm scared of somebody who has practiced one move 1,000 times. Because he is good at that. That one move, he can kill me. So that is what consistency is all about. In spirituality, consistency is very important. If you are not consistent in your sadhana and your pursuit of God, don't fool yourself that you will somehow get lucky and somehow something miracle will happen and you will get it. It won't happen. Even after you staying in the ashram for the rest of your life, it won't happen. So don't be too sure of such things. Be persistent in your efforts and continue with purity and patience. The patience of emptying an ocean with the blade of grass, drop by drop. That patience one should exhibit in the spiritual path. Then only it is going to be yours.